Okay. So your question is the essential meaning of Turiya. Okay. What is the meaning of Turiya? How it's related to Mukti, Jivan Mukti, enlightenment. Okay. So our entire waking state experience, our daily experience is Triputi. Right? Triputi means there is a subject, there is an object, and the experience. The subject, object, and experience is there. Correct? This is Triputi. This is called Triputi. Subject is there, object is there, and experience is there. It can be seer, seen, and seeing. For example, I am seeing an apple. Apple is an object. I am the seer. There's a seeing. Seer, seen, and seeing. There's a Triputi. That way, hearer and hearing and heard object. So there is a Triputi in all our experiences. The Triputi is there in doing also. The doer, doing, and deed. Correct? The doer, doing, and deed. Okay. It's called Karta, Karma, and Kriya. For example, if I am doing a painting, the painting is the deed, Karma. I am painting is the doer, doing, and I am the doer is the three. The doer, doing, and deed. Okay. Now, the entire object spiritual sadhana is to collapse this Triputi into a non-duality. Correct? So, Triputi has to be reduced to non-duality. Now, all this Triputi, I put it in in the name called knower, known, and knowledge. Entire Triputi, doer, done, doing, and deed, or a painter, the seer, seen, and seeing. All this will put in a knower, known, and knowledge. It's called Gnatra Jneya Jnanam. Now, Gnatra Jneya Jnanam or knower, known, knowledge will cover all the three, all aspects of experience. Correct? So now I can call it as knower, known, knowledge. Gnatra Jneya Jnanam. Okay, where knowledge knower, known, knowledge. Now, if you observe it closely, knower, known, knowledge, all the three are nouns. Knowledge is also a noun. Knower is also known. Knower, known, knowledge are nouns. But in reality, everything in the world is a verb. Everything is constantly changing in the world. Nature does not know nouns. For example, river is a noun. Real river is nothing but a flowing water. There's nothing called stationary called river. The entire world is completely continuously changing. Okay. So now the knower, known, knowledge, I change into knower and knowledge and knowing. Knower and knowledge is connected knowing. Okay. Understand? Knowledge I have changed the word knowledge I have changed into knowing. Where knowledge is one instance of knowing. I have knowledge of apple. The knowledge of apple is in knowing. I have knowledge of mango. It appears in knowing. So knower, known, knowledge, I change into knower, knowledge, and knowing. Right? Understand? Now, I can drop knower and knowledge. Knower and known I can drop. Why? Because there is one thing which is there, knowing, which is connects knower and known. Correct? The knower and known are always connected through knowing. Are we clear? So that being the case, the knower and knowledge are both connected in knowing. Okay. Then only knowing is there. So now knowing.
Okay. Right side में signal is there. Full signal is there. Okay. Now you come towards the signal and cross.
Knower, known, and knowledge is always connected to knowing. Now, knowing is a continuous activity. Knowing never stops. Whether knowledge is there or not, absence of knowledge or presence of knowledge, knowing doesn't matter. That knowing is called Sakshi, the witness. Sakshi is knowing, knowing is the being. Correct? And the word Sakshi is relevant only when there's something to know. Otherwise, the Sakshi doesn't mean anything. When there's nothing to know, the Sakshi is called Brahman. Its name of Sakshi is called Brahman when there's nothing to know. Knowing is relevant when there's known is there. Right? When there's nothing to know, then knowing is called Brahman. Correct? Okay. It is like this. A weightlifter is there. He goes to gym and lifts 500 kg. Now, because he lifts 500 kg, he's called a weightlifter. Now he comes home. Okay. He has nothing to lift. Right? Is he still a weightlifter? He's still a weightlifter. He's called weightlifter whether he lifts the weight or not. So the Sakshi is Sakshi when he's able to observe something or when he's not able to observe something. When he's not able to observe something, then Sakshi is called Brahman. Only name is changed. Are you clear? Now, there is now the knower, known, and knowledge. I have converted knower and known connected to knowing. Knowing only is there. So Brahman only is there in all the experiences. Because all the other Triputi I have collapsed into knower, known, knowledge. Seer, seen, seeing, I have converted to knower, known, knowledge. Right? Knower, known, knowledge, I have converted to knower, known, knowing. The knowing I have converted to pure knowing. So in every experience, only Brahman is there, knowing only is there, Sakshi is there. There's no experience where there's Triputi. There's only, all the experiences are only knowing. Correct? Now, what is the knowledge which is appearing? Knowledge, knower, known, knowledge is appearing and disappearing, knowing. And what is appearing and disappearing is mithya, is unreal. Appearing and disappearing is always mithya, it's not real. The meaning of mithya in Vedanta is what appears and disappears. And meaning of satya is what does not appear and disappear. So what does not appear and disappear all the time? The knowing. That's satya. And that satya is called Sakshi when there is something to know. That satya is called Brahman when there is nothing to know. Okay. So now the question is, when there Sakshi has nothing to know? When the knower, known, knowledge is mithya, Sakshi has nothing to know. Mithya may appear and dance. It is nothing to know. There's no object there. It's only mithya. Then Sakshi is Brahman when you know that what you see, knower, known, knowledge is mithya. And knower, known, knowledge is mithya because it appears and disappears. Is this much clear? So now we'll go to three-state analysis. Okay. So we'll go to three-state analysis: waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. Okay, there are three states, right? Then you'll ask me, are there only three states or more states? What about coma? What about samadhi? Or what about unconsciousness? What about alcoholic? What about mental people with mental disturbance? So all these we can collapse into two states, which is the deep sleep and three states. There are three states. The deep sleep state is called Sushupti, waking state is called Jagrata, and dream state is called Swapna. Now, are there three states? There are only two states. What are the two states? Jagrata and Swapna are alike. When you are experiencing Swapna, the Swapna is called Jagrata. In a dream, you always think you are awake only. Right? And when you are experiencing waking state, also you think you are awake. So the waking state and dream state are indistinguishable. That's why there are only two states, not three states. Deep sleep state and dream state. That I call waking state and dream state, I combine into dream state. So waking state and dream state both are alike in their experience when they are experiencing it. From waking state point of view, say dream is unreal. From dream state point of view, waking is unreal. But each state from that perspective, it's like a waking state. Both I call as dream state. So three states I have collapsed into two states: deep sleep state and dream state. Is that correct? Clear? Or Sushupti and Swapna. Now all other states I collapse into these two. Samadhi is sleep state. A person who is yogi goes into samadhi, he goes into thoughtless state, which is sleep. And a person who is what I call as alcoholic, he experiences illusion. That I call it as dream. Coma, I'll put in deep sleep state. Okay. A person with mental disturbance, I put it as dream state. Then how many states of human beings have? Only 2 states: deep sleep state and dream state. Now what is no deep sleep state and dream state? Correct? There are only 2 states. Understand? Now what is the distinction between deep sleep state and dream state? The deep sleep state, there are no objects, and the dream state, there are objects. Correct? Understand? Now, why when the waking state I call dream state as unreal? Why in the waking state I call dream state as unreal? Why? After waking, I find out that there are objects in dream state, but they are not real. Correct? So I had I got 1 crore rupees in dream state. That 1 crore rupees is not useful. That's why in the waking state I call dream as unreal, because objects in the dream state were not real on waking up. Correct? Understand? So we are only speaking of 2 states. One is deep sleep state, and where there are no objects, and another state where there are objects. And objects are unreal because waking state objects also appear and disappear. Dream state objects also appear and disappear. That means mithya. Correct? Understand? Now, when the objects are there, there's nowhere known knowledge. There's a triputty, which in triputty can be seer, seen, seeing, doer, deed, doing, but ultimately it's collapsed in knower, known knowledge. But I'll say knowledge I convert into knowing. Okay, knower and known, the Gnatra and Jnaya, I'll say convert into knowing. Gnatra and Jnaya, Gnanam I convert into knowing, which is Sakshi, witnessing. I don't call it a Sakshi as a noun, I call it as witnessing as a verb. So witnessing connects the knower and known. The knower and known I don't have to consider. Out of triputty, 2 all gone. Then what remains all the time? Only knowing. What keeps on changing all the time? Object, knowledge appears and disappears. And what appears and disappears is always mithya. Correct? So if Sakshi is observing mithya, what is he observing? He is observing nothing. Because he is observing nothing, he is Brahman. With eyes open, if you are observing nothing, that means you are Brahman. That observer is Brahman. The Sakshi is Brahman. Because he is not observing anything. If Sakshi believes that I am observing something in reality, the Sakshi has belief in reality, then Sakshi is there and Sakshyam is there. When Sakshi is and Sakshyam is there, then Sakshi is called Sakshi. When Sakshyam is understood as, witnessed is understood as mithya, then same Sakshi is called Brahman, because it's mithya, unreal. Are we clear? Understand? Now, there's there's no two called Sakshi and Brahman. Sakshi is Brahman. When Sakshyam is mithya. And Sakshyam is mithya because waking state and dream state appear and disappear. That's mithya. So Sakshi is not observing anything in reality. Right? That's why he is Brahman all the time. Are we clear? Don't get carried away by these words. In the word Sakshi, I want to replace by witnessing. I don't know Sanskrit word for that, witnessing. Okay? The witnessing is the more appropriate word for me. It's a continuous activity. Now, witnessing is there when the objects are there or not objects. So we are actually only speaking of 2 states: waking state and dream state. In dream state, which dream state includes the deep sleep state and dream state, Sushupti and Swapna. In the Swapna, I am including Jagrata and Swapna. Both states, objects appear and disappear. None of them are stable. Are we clear? So now we will come to Mandukya Upanishad. Okay? Mandukya Upanishad starts saying there are 3 states: Jagrata, Swapna, Sushupti. Because that's our common experience. See, it suddenly doesn't go collapse into 2 states and all. So Jagrata, Sushupti, Swapna, Sushupti is our 3 states. Right? Now, Mandukya Upanishad starts saying, I am Atma Brahma, touching the chest. Mandukya, not Mundaka, Mandukya. Mandukya says, Mandukya Upanishad opens with the statement, I am Atma Brahma. Now, the beauty here is Rishi is not, Atma is not visible, but he touches his chest and says, I am Atma Brahma. That means he is referring to chest, right? I am Atma Brahma, he says like this. Now, is he saying about the shirt? Shirt is not Atma. Is he speaking of the chest? He is referring to something, a consciousness, which is experienced in this. So that consciousness which is experienced for an embodied person is called Pratyagatma. Pratyagatma is Brahman only. But because still you are in Adnana, you are referring to body. Because you are referring to body, is called Pratyagatma. Pratyak means innermost self. So he is referring to innermost self. Understand? Now, what is innermost self for a waking state person? For a waking state person, is dream innermost self or deep sleep innermost self? From a waking state point of view, deep sleep is the innermost self, Pratyagatma. He still doesn't have a concept of Brahman at all. He has a concept, I slept. So that I who is speaking of in the deep sleep state, he says, I was not aware, but I was there. So that is called Pratyagatma, innermost self. Okay, now in the deep sleep state, in the wake, were you there? The question is, were you there? So notionally you are there. Notionally, for the waking state person, all Adnana is there in the waking state. So the waking state person is Adnana. Deep sleep, there's no Adnana. So now deep sleep state, there's no Adnana. We have to understand very clearly. How do you understand there's no Adnana in deep sleep state? So I'll ask the question, deep sleep state, did you exist? Right? You have to give yes or no answer. Do you say you exist or not? No, don't exist. I exist. When you say I exist, who is that I don't know, but existence is there. That existence where there's no individualized, that existence is called Satyam. Okay. So what was there in the deep sleep state? What was there in the deep sleep state for you? No objects were there. Nothing was there. That means no objects were there. So you were aware of nothingness in deep sleep state. Correct? Nothingness is in deep sleep state. So now that means you were aware of nothingness in deep sleep state. That means awareness was present. Others you cannot say. Say awareness of absence was there. That awareness of absence is called Chit. Now it's not individualized awareness. Individualized awareness is called Chitta. It's a awareness in general. Sat is there, Chit is there. Then what did you experience? You had a good sleep. So Ananda was there. Correct? Sat, Chit, Ananda was there. Now in waking state, our experiences, Ananda comes from the objects. Right? In deep sleep state, there's no possibility of any objects in the Ananda. That means the Ananda which you experience is Swarupa Ananda. Not the object Ananda. Not Vishaya Ananda. In the waking state or in the dream state, what you experience is Vishaya Ananda. So you experience Swarupa Ananda. That means your own bliss. So Sat Chit Ananda was there in deep sleep state. Correct? Now the deep sleep guy is called Pradna. Okay? Now the Vedanta says, I am Atma Brahma. Now I am Atma, innermost self, he is referring to Pradna. He is referring to Pradna. And Pradna is saying Brahman. And Brahman is Pradnanam Brahma. Pradna is equated to Pradnanam. Okay? Pradna is Pradnanam, awareness. Now, why Pradna? Why is called Pradna? Because he is speaking from the waking state person point of view. Waking state point of view, person point of view, Pradna is ignorant person. So that Pradna is Brahman, Pradnanam. So I am Atma Brahma means innermost self is Brahman, he is saying. Now this we can understand a little bit easily because, okay, we can understand it easily because in deep sleep, when we have heard Brahman means Satchidananda. So deep sleep state, I think Satchidananda I understand. See, Vedanta cannot teach you, which you cannot relate to. So Brahman you have to relate to. So deep sleep state is a non-dual state. Understand? It is not, there's no other. Satchidananda is there, but there's no object. So deep sleep state is non-dual Brahman is experienced. You are non-dual Brahman. That you is not there. Jiva has merged with the Brahman. Correct? That you is not there. Understand? Now, is it appropriate to say Pradna is Brahman? Because whatever Pradna is notional for the waking state guy. That Pradna is nothing but Pradnanam is another same. And that Pradnanam you will know what is Satchidananda. So then the Upanishad goes one step further. It tells all this is Brahman. You have to define Brahman. Sarvam Khalu the Brahma. Okay. What is Sarvam Khalu the Brahma? Yadbhutam Echa Bhavishyati. What was there in the past? What is there in the, that means all that objects is Brahman. Correct? That means object includes your body, your mind. Whatever you call as object is Brahman. He says. Now, there's a conflict. Brahman is defined as partless. Brahman is akhanda. But what you see as object, there is a part. Right? There is a part. Then world has part. Brahman is not born, not dying. It doesn't appear. It's not available to sense organs. So that means what he is saying is whatever you are seeing is not reality. What is the reality behind that is Brahman. Okay. So now what is the reality behind what I see? The reality behind what I see, I remove the name and form. Okay. So name and form, if you remove, then what remains is nothingness. Right? One who knows nothingness, you can't remove him. It is Brahman, awareness. Okay. So when there's nothingness, that means it's like a deep sleep state. No objects are there. Right? So that means he is speaking of the what world you see is not real. It's nothing. So that you are experiencing the deep sleep state. So that you are Brahman. Okay. I am Atma, Brahma means that. Now, the whom is teaching? The teaching is for the waking state guy. So what is he teaching him? That the deep sleep notional pradna or Brahman has taken your form, knower. Now, knower, known and knowledge, it has taken the form. Objects are there in the waking state. When you say object, what it really means is thought. There's nothing called object other than thought. So,
what you're saying is knowing is taking the form of knower, knowledge, and
knower appears. Knowing appears as knower, no knowledge.
knowing appears as knower, knowledge, and knowing.
Knowing.
And
Known.
no.
Known.
Okay.
Right.
Which means there are only three. One is becoming three.
One appears as three, not
One
becoming.
appears as-
One appears as three.
The confusion is because
Ah.
I am Atma Brahma, I Chatushpat.
No, that I'll come to that.
Chatushpat is a problem.
That I'll come to that. Chatushpat. Okay. That I have to talk Mundukya Upanishad much more detail. Why that Chatushpat I have to talk later. But first let us understand. So that knowing appears knower, known knowledge in the waking state. And knowing continues when the knower, known knowledge is not there in deep sleep also. Correct, no? So the knower, known knowledge is only in the Swapna, which combines waking state and dream state. Okay? Which is nothing in the form of thoughts. So we have only two states. Thoughts are there and thoughts are not there. Correct? Now, when in the waking state, let's say the waking state is 24 hours. How much of time you have thoughts in the 24 hours? In the 24 hours, your thought time is not even few minutes because thoughts appear and disappear. Even if you have 1 lakh thoughts, the thoughts appear and disappear. Rest of the time, what are you? You are in thoughtless state, which means sleep state, which means that is Brahman. Okay, you are temporarily out of service for Brahman for when the thoughts are there. Appear to be, not really, because thoughts are mithya. So you are Brahman all the time. You cannot become Brahman. You are already Brahman in the deep sleep state and waking state also. The waking state background is thoughtless state. A thoughtless state is called Turiya. And why it's called Turiya, I'll tell you. Okay, thoughtless state is actually one way it's called deep sleep. And thoughtless state is called Turiya for a person who is in the waking state, he is in the Adnana. For him, you have to tell there is something beyond waking state, dream state, deep sleep state. Okay, that appears and disappears. Waking state, dream state, deep sleep state appears and disappears. But what is something beyond? It does not appear and disappear. So Turiya is with reference to 3 states. Okay, The reference is given to 3 states because somebody is still he doesn't understand there are no 3 states. Still he doesn't understand there is only 2 states. For him, Turiya is given as a reference with respect to 3 states. Okay. So the Turiya is a knowing principle all the time. Whether thoughts are there or thoughts are not there, it's knowing. So now when you collapse 3 states into 2 states, deep sleep and Swapna, dream state. The Swapna means which includes waking state and dream state. Thoughts are there and thoughts are not there. Now in the waking state and Swapna, the Jagrata and Swapna, in both states, the background is thoughtless state all the time. That means sleep is the background state. Thoughtless means sleep. Waking state, most of the time you are in that. Now you will understand the sloka. Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutanam Tasyam Jagrati Sanyami. Right? That sloka. The Bhagavad Gita sloka. That means Ya Nisha Sarva Bhutam, for all the living beings, what is deep sleep? For a Gnani, it is the waking state. So literal translation of that is the deep sleep state, what you are experiencing is pure awareness. That is the waking state of a Gnani. So this actually shloka has given many interpretations of it given. The real meaning of that is deep sleep state, the knowing principle, awareness, is the background or the waking state for a Gnani. Ya Nisha Sarvabhutam Tasyam Jagrati. That means Gnani is aware of his inner nature as Brahman in the waking state.
He is aware of the background, whereas all the Ajnanis are aware not of the background but the foreground.
Foreground. They are enjoying the movie, whereas Gnani is enjoying the screen. That's all. Are we clear? So now why it's called Turiya? Because the teaching is always with reference to waking state guy. Okay, for waking state guy, you have to use his terminology. In deep sleep, you are there, that's called Pradna. Okay, beyond these 3 states, there is something is there. So now everything is collapsed, everything falls into place. The deep sleep state, the awareness is there, it's Turiya. It's not a state. Okay, it's not a state. Deep sleep we are calling deep sleep because thoughts are appearing and disappearing. From the point of view of the thoughts are appearing and disappearing, we can call it as a changing state. But what is, look at the background, it's a Turiya. In the waking state, the thoughts are appearing and disappearing. That's why it is waking state. But if you consider the background, it is a same constant state.
We have the background state of the waking state, which only the Gnani is aware of and the Ajnani is unaware of.
Okay, now what will happen? Yogi wants to get into Turiya. He will go into Samadhi. That means he goes to sleep. Right. Now Vedanta says Samadhi will not give you Jnana because sleep is a state of no knowledge possible. Then another point is that sleep is for a person who is waking state, he'll say sleep is a state of ignorance. That's his ignorance, not sleep state ignorance. He says sleep is state of ignorance. That's why many Vedantic books actually wrongly translated. Sleep state is a state of ignorance, say. Now that is the problem is the waking state guy, he is putting his ignorance into sleep state also. In fact, sleep state is the only real state what you have. After death also you're in sleep state. In the waking state also you're in sleep state. In deep sleep also you're in sleep state. The sleep state is your background state. Nani is. Right? So is this much clear? Now what is the question?
No, and so what the Chatushpat is, actually, while awake, you know thought state, imaginary state, no thought state, and the knowledge state.
Okay. No, Chatushpat meaning has different meaning that I will take up separately. Okay. Right now, this much is understood.
Yes.
So now, the same pradna is called Turiya. The pradna is called ignorant person by the waking state guy. Okay, waking state, pradna means actually not a knowledgeable state. Pradna means ignorant state. Who calls the ignorant state guy, sleeping guy? The waking state guy. Okay, but when waking state gets jnana, the pradna is Brahman. Pradna is Brahman. One who waking state guy knows pradna is Brahman. I am that pradna in the waking state. Okay, waking state, what is mithya? So I am that pradna and pradna is Brahman. When she understands that, he is called Turiya. He has gone beyond 3 states. Now there are no states, not waking dreams, waking states, waking state, dream state, deep sleep state is not there. The deep sleep state and dream state also not there. Only one state is there, only one reality is there from Turiya. So from waking state point of view, it's called still Turiya. Now, a person becomes, his vasanas are gone. His waking state vasanas are gone. I am the body, all vasanas are gone. Jagat Satya's vasana is gone. Then he is always in Turiya. Then he is called Turiya Tita. That means now he has gone beyond Turiya. Now the Turiya word has no meaning for him. Turiya is with reference to 3 states.
There is no background.
No,
There is no foreground or background.
there's no foreground or background. That's why he is called Turiya Tita.
Beyond any ground.
Right. So is this clear?
Yeah.
So